I'm excited for this episode, Brandon.
Tell me why. I mean, I'm excited too, but also tell me why.
Well, the way you want to know why so much makes me wonder, why are you excited? Why are you getting so inquisitive?
I just wanted to hear why first.
That's why you're excited for this episode? Because I'm going to tell you why I'm excited
you
for
just told me that I'm excited. So already my excitement just got boosted up a little more.
Because we're going to be interviewing people that I don't know.
And I don't know. Yeah, it is pretty exciting.
God. It's like, this is like almost like a real thing.
I'm kind of nervous.
Uh-oh. Welcome to Some People Like Us. We also have video now, apparently. And people are going to see what we look like. Which...
And then just slowly it drops off.
Honestly, I didn't even think of this with the shirt, but I think I might be wearing what I'm wearing in the drawing for the... Oh, no. I don't have my lucky hat on. God damn it.
I like how you draw something of yourself and it has your actual clothes in it.
Right. Yeah.
But
even in my imagination, I'm limited to 5 shirts.
I don't have that shirt.
You don't have a green shirt?
No.
Oh my God. If we have a listener out there that wants to be a wealthy benefactor and donate a green shirt to Brandon, we'd really appreciate that. That being said, yeah, this is Some People Like Us, a podcast for doofuses, bozos, goons, clown shoes,
ding
ass
dongs.
motherfuckers, ding dongs. You know, sometimes someone will yell at you on the street. They'll be like, "You clown shoes, ass motherfucker." I get that a lot. Does everybody get that a lot? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. I was thinking Fish announced that they're doing some tour dates. So Heady Shit is back, baby.
Yep. This is true.
2021. I thought for sure, Fish is at an age and just kind of who they are as people now. I thought for sure they were all right, we know everybody assumes filthy hippies, and regardless of where they are in music charts or whatever, realistically for live touring acts, Fish is one of the most profitable touring acts in the fucking country.
They sell the most tickets of anything else.
I totally expected them to sit this year out too. To be well, we don't want to immediately come back. And then the government and the CDC's look at the filthy hippies caused a fucking, a surge.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to let, Journey or whatever, whoever else is reuniting, let them take the flack for this because we've got enough going against us already.
Right.
But now it's happening.
Yeah, and I think that Fish announcing a summer and fall tour.
Yeah, and it wasn't even drive-in shit.
Right.
They went straight from doing nothing to I don't know, come stand in a field together. All right.
Yeah.
But it is still, it's those outdoor amphitheaters, when they're not hey, come to fucking Wrigley or something, in the city where there's just fucking people everywhere, because I feel then that. But Fall Out Boy's playing at Wrigley Field.
Really?
I heard it on the radio.
Oh man!
And I'm assuming
I'm
remembering correctly, and that is happening. But that seems crazy.
Yeah, I
not
guess
only
that's true.
You're packing a huge group of people into a confined place, but then even when you release them from there, they're still in a confined place of Wrigleyville, you know? Like when Fish did play Wrigley, that it was, there was just like nitrous in the alleys and shit. Like, it was weird, dude. It was like the buildings across the street that sell bleachers on their roofs. Also, the nitrous mafia set up camp in front. I was like,
dude,
who's running fucking business around this fucking part of town? Because everybody is just like a free agent and they're doing like seemingly illegal shit.
Yeah, that happened when at Dead and Company played at, was it Wrigley?
Yes.
Might have been Wrigley.
Yep.
Literally walk out of Wrigley and right there in the street, like there's cops right over there. So then you know the nitrous mafia is real.
Yeah, because
how is it the cops are right there with
yeah,
loud ass shit?
Like, look, we got no proof that those guys ain't dentists. we'll leave them be.
Yeah. I mean, I understand like actual balloons because all you have to do is just let those bad boys go. They got nothing. But
no, yeah, if you're the buyer, but as the seller, like you're not shoving that medical tank up your ass, bud. It's like the fucking fuzz comes down.
Right. Yeah.
And also then there are just people. Even we are out of towners when we go to a show at Wrigley, but like I've been there enough that I'm not, you know, like I know where the train is or I know how to, but like people are traveling from, someone was like Dead and Company at Wrigley Field who lives in Ohio or something.
Yeah.
And drove there. And so they're being released into a strange city. And then someone's like, here, take the shit that dentists use to knock you out.
Yeah.
Before you go wander the busy streets of this strange city.
I even met a couple from an older couple from Houston, Texas at the Humphrey shows in Bridgeview.
And then you bought nitrous off of them. They were like, we go where business is, boy.
Yeah, right.
No, yeah, right. And just that culture of like, everybody goes to other concerts and everybody gets drunk or something, but like the concerts where people travel from across the country for is also the same concerts where people are like, let me take a drug that makes me forget my goddamn name,
right?
You know,
let me eat some acid, not be able to work my phone,
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fish Wrigley was the first time, one of two times in my whole life that I did ketamine, which I'm not even proud to say, but like somebody had convinced me that it was a lot more like a psychedelic than I thought it was. I was like, it's a horse tranquilizer. And they're like, no, but like you'll trip.
They didn't explain that to you correctly.
Yeah.
It's a disassociative for sure.
It so disassociated me from my own goddamn body that like realistically could have gotten very fucked up. We were staying at my uncle's house in Evanston. Like he was like, you know what? You're going to Fish at Wrigley? He's like, that's the same weekend we're going out of town. So you can house sit. And so my mom and aunt, and then me and my girlfriend go in two separate cars. And when my mom and aunt get there first, and the uncle's like, so the master bathroom on the third floor, or second floor, but he's like, it's a jacuzzi tub, but the water heater is in the basement. So he's like, it has to travel all the way up there. He's like, it will only... since it's like up to the, second floor, but technically third from the basement level, he's like, fill the tub halfway, let it sit for like 15 minutes, and then fill it the rest of the way. They did not pass along that information to me and the girl I was dating at the time. So we all go to the red line is like right by his house, takes us right to Wrigley. It was like all so fucking perfect. And the girl that I was dating at the time was like too fucking hippy dippy for either of our goods. Like, I was just like, I had been raised in hippie culture, so kind of my rebellion was like, oh, I fucking get it, dude. You got like a nice bong. You got a puppy in your pocket? No, I'm not going to give you a free beer. Get away from my campsite. But she was that person, She's like, we could fucking like jump into general admission. I'm like, yeah, and get kicked out potentially. Like, I would rather not risk it, whatever, I don't know. And I may be the square there, and I'll fully admit that.
With that last one, you're definitely the square.
Yeah, to go, even before a pandemic, I was like, I don't want to fucking have that guy's sweat on me to not be able to hear the band as good as I can from back here where I don't have that guy's sweat on me. That's my mindset. So anyways, we go to the first night and we come back and my mom and aunt are like, you guys can have the upstairs. And so she's like, oh, we're going to use this fucking jacuzzi tub, right? And I was like, fuck yeah, we are. I turn on the water. It's fucking rolling. And she's like, so I got some ketamine. You want to do it? And I, like I said, never done this in my life. And I was like, oh. And you're like about to get in a bath with a girl. And she's like, you want to do this drug with me? Like, you're kind of inclined to be like, okay. So I'm like, all right. And she fucking grabs like my wealthy uncle's like fucking, Vogue or whatever fucking magazine, he's like in his bathroom, he's got like a fucking Forbes, and she like pours out like two, what I now know are like giant lines of ketamine, like a number 2 pencil. That's what these lines, no exaggeration. I'm not proud of this. It's not, like, oh, dude, they're the biggest fucking lines of ketamine I've ever seen. They were. And I've seen idiots do giant lines of ketamine by this point, But so we do them and we get in this jacuzzi tub and like there's lights inside of it. You could change the colors and shit. So like I'm going.
At this point, you're thinking, this is going to be a good time.
Right. Well, this whole jacuzzi tub was also surrounded by all sorts of exotic plants that, like, my uncle, he was like a foreman for like a rehab construction company in the city. Yeah. So they would like gut old buildings and get like cool old stained glass windows or whatever. But a lot of times people would leave behind like fucking plants. So he just like collected all these, I don't know, whatever.
Succulents and
whatever hanging shit, and there's just a lot going on behind me, and a naked woman in a bathtub with me, and colorful lights. But the lights in the bathroom are off, so it's just the tub light and the moonlight coming through the window, and it's all fuzzy because I'm on ketamine. But so all of a sudden, like, I look over at her, and she's like looking at me all weird, and then I'm like, what is that horrible clicking sound in my head? And then I realized it was my own teeth chattering. And I look at her and I go, your lips look really blue. And she's like, yours too. The hot water had run out a long time ago, and now we were just filling this bath with cold water.
Oh, no.
But we both did ketamine, so like our bodies didn't tell us that until our bodies were like reacting to that. And I still don't know that's the reason that
I thought we were supposed to blue light was on.
No.
You were fucking.
All of a sudden, the red light was on in my fucking head, and I was like, everything sucks. I was like, fuck what my uncle said. I'm smoking a cigarette out of this window that was right next to the tub, and I open this window and I sit up on the edge. I was like, I'm going to smoke a cigarette and go to bed. This bath fucking sucks. And I get up and I'm sitting on the window ledge. I'm smoking this cigarette. And the girl looks like through the dark and she's like, babe, I think you're sitting in a cactus. And I reached behind me and I like feel, and it like felt like I ran my hand over a fucking teddy bear. And I go, oh, it's cool. It's one of those soft cactuses. I swear to God, those were the words that came out of my mouth. It's cool. It's one of those soft cactuses.
Which I know what you're talking about, though, because there are varying
cactus,
degrees.
maybe, like even I want to say, oh no, yeah, there are, but like I can't like really think of a specific example, and I feel like it was just like I'm fucked up and maybe embarrassed and like, oh, it's cool. It's just, I sing cactuses all the time. Like I feel it was more that response.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry about me. I'm fine, just fine. I'm going to smoke this cigarette because I'm still angry and on drugs and cold. Finish smoking the cigarette. We go to bed, wake up the next day, and both of us are just covered in fucking cactus needles. Like they were like microscope. You couldn't even pick them out. It just felt like you rolled in fiberglass insulation.
Yeah.
And since I had it all in my back, we went to sleep in this bed throughout the night, tossing and turning. It just spread them. And so we both just had it all over us. And then I had to like explain to my mom and aunt that I sat in their cactus last night. And my mom's like, why? And I was like, I was real drunk. I don't know. So stupid. And then I had to go to night 2 of Fish at Wrigley and stand in the hot Chicago summer sun
with a shirt on,
with like
and
a
pants.
sweat, just like getting into all those microscopic cactus needles in my back. And every once in a while, the girl would like reach over and rub my back or something during the show, and I'd be like, "Oh, you ignorant bitch!" Like I couldn't help but just be livid. And then another frustrating part was growing up on like fish lots and shit, I've seen like a lot of like tour injuries, like somebody fucking stepped in a campfire that like it was just
no
ash
way
and they
that
burnt the shit
compared,
out of their
though.
foot or something stupid like that. They hit their thumb with a hammer, hammering in the stakes for a tent.
Nobody sat in a cactus.
Nobody
though.
sat in a cactus. And in Chicago, it's not like I was seeing fish in Albuquerque and somehow managed to find a cactus to sit in.
Right.
I was in like Evanston, Chicago, and I found like the only goddamn cactus to sit in with my naked body, like not even in clothing. I was wet and naked, and I sat in a cactus.
And cold.
How fucking brilliant. So funny thing, I really don't like taking ketamine. Turns out I'm not a big fan of it.
I've definitely accidentally done ketamine. Like I thought it was something else.
Uh-huh.
And we didn't communicate what either of us thought it was.
Hey, do you want some? And they showed you a bag of it. You were like, yeah.
I just saw it and I was like, oh, do you mind if I get some of that? And they're like, yeah, being a nice guy,
Mm-hmm.
He assumed that I knew what it was. And then next thing you know, I'm walking like upward at an angle down his hallway.
Yeah. I don't like that, where you don't know what you're doing. Like even I've literally been handed a pipe before, and it was fucking DMT. So it's not like I blasted off or something. I just tasted it. It was like, what the fuck, dude? You just handed me a pipe,
right?
And I'm not supposed to assume this is weed.
Yeah, there's got to be some sort of disclaimer there, especially in that scenario.
Well, that actually brings me to our Animals Anonymous story for this week. It has a little something to do with doing something that you didn't know you were doing. So we're gonna connect now with Mr. Benjamin Dover. Okay. Well, we have our anonymous storyteller, Mr. Benjamin Dover.
Hello.
What's up, Ben?
Not much, man. Not much.
So
So
I
I hear
hear
you guys.
you have quite an exciting tale for us.
Yeah, you guys wanted to hear a story. So this happens about 11 years ago. So I think all of the what is that? The statute of limitations are all passed. So we're all good.
Okay.
So I was
It was
19
a
years
different
old.
time back then, you know.
Yeah, I was 19, and I'd been unemployed for like the longest period of time I'd ever been unemployed. So I didn't usually wake up till about like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I woke up and I got a phone call from a guy that I went to college with, who I didn't really talk to that much, but I knew he was a really cool dude, and he had an extra ticket to see the Falcon. That's like a Chicago supergroup, basically.
Okay.
Like Brendan Kelly from the Lawrence and Arms is in it. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I want to go to that. So I get on the train to meet up with this guy. Once again, like I said, I've never hung out with him outside of college. Like, we went to class together and stuff, but I'd never hung out with him.
Right, yeah. What is he like as an actual person and not a student? Like
I was more worried about what I was like outside
well,
of
no. That's what I'm saying. Not like, is he going to be trouble? Like, oh, is he going to be a square and not going to like what I'm going to do? Because that was the immediate thought I had. That's what it's like when I hang out with people from work, or it's like, oh man, am I going to like start smoking weed and not think that that's like even a thing I should be worried about? And you're going to be like, what the hell are you doing?
I'm gonna write 666 in permanent marker on a train seat. This guy's gonna freak out about it.
Right, yeah. Go home, Grandpa.
So I get on the train to meet up with him, and the first thing he does is hand me a beer. Now I'm 19.
Yeah.
And we're on
Public transit.
Yeah. And so I basically I take the beer. I'm like, all right, I guess I'm gonna do this. Him and his buddy are both of age. And what I didn't know is that Jazz Fest was also going on in Chicago at the time. So once we crossed the Illinois border, the police were taking alcohol from everyone because you couldn't bring alcohol into the city, right?
On the train? Is this happening?
Yeah.
What?
This cop, he ended up taking a 12-pack from us. Didn't check any of our IDs, which, thank God. And takes our beer and goes and pours it down the toilet.
He runs really fast to the back of the train that's still in Indiana and starts chugging it.
We actually did ask him about that, and he was like, no, I'll catch you. So we get into the city, and as soon as we get off the train, his buddy pulls out his backpack and instantly hands all of us 2 Four Locos. Each of us had a bunch of Four Locos in his bag.
Yeah. Like
So
we said,
like,
this was a different time. Four Locos are still a thing that people are like willing to kill themselves to drink.
I mean, yeah, it was still pretty bad. Anyway, we ended up going to Jazz Fest, and we're walking around drinking Four Locos. And I run into a buddy of mine who had just moved up to the city. I didn't know he was going to be there.
Yeah.
This is important because he told me I could crash at his house that night, or his apartment that night, if I wanted to.
Okay.
And I was like, cool. So I can get as drunk as I want to get.
Right.
And I don't have to worry about, getting back home at all.
Now I'm safe.
Exactly. So I all of a sudden, not only am I 19, not only do I have the confidence of people who are of age and drinking, but like now I have a place to stay. I had like this trifecta of like, I'm going to have the best time ever.
Nothing can stop me now.
Exactly. And so we get to the venue. It was Reggie's. And we were outside of Reggie's. You know how they have like the patio?
Yeah.
I was under the impression that like I couldn't drink, because I'm on the patio. Like they would check or whatever. Well, my buddy goes in, buys like 6 beers, and then brings them out to the table, and he's like, "Dude, drink up now." Like,
yeah,
I was
like, yeah, I'm not going to the bar. You're right. This works.
Yeah, and so nobody asked questions. So I was like, "All right, cool." So now I'm like 5 or 6 beers deep, and I've had a Four Loco and a half, and we're at the venue drinking, and then a camera crew walks up. I swear to God, like this is the part where everybody thinks like you're lying, and I'm not. This camera crew walks up and they tell us, they're like, we're filming a documentary about punk rock that Kelsey Grammer is going to narrate. and we wanted to get real punk rockers' responses to things, right? And it just became me yelling at this camera for like 20 minutes.
Fuck Frasier.
Yeah, no, I did say, you know, because I'm not an idiot. I know how like those kind of things work. Like they're going to record so much and then they're going to cut a bunch.
Right.
So
you're trying to do something memorable too, and like enough memorable things that you will make the cut.
Well, actually, what I tried to do was be really insightful, but I was drunk at 19. Yeah. And then at the end, I was like trying to suck Kelsey Grammer's dick, right? I was like, Kelsey Grammer, you're the fucking best. Just put my shit in the movie. Like, I'm drunk.
Well, I don't know what to do with those tossed salads and scrambled eggs. They're like, shut the fuck up, kid. What are you doing?
But I've never seen the movie or even looked up what it was, so it might not even have gotten made. But
it was for his personal collection. Kelsey Grammer just films things to talk over and watch by himself.
Honestly, I hope he does do that. So that when he dies, we get it.
Dude, my favorite thing ever is that video of him falling off that stage and breaking his leg. And you just see him disappear into the darkness, and then he goes, "Oh dear Lord, I've broken my leg." That is so goddamn funny to me. Anyways, continue. I'm sorry. Ooh, Kelsey.
Okay, so I get done ranting at this camera, and then finally the venue is open. We can go in.
Yeah.
And we go in, and my buddy continues buying me beers, right? So instantly I'm like, this is my new best friend. I'm never going to not hang out with this
I can't believe we haven't hung out outside of class before.
Right. Well, I think like I probably right before the Falcon went on, or like right at the first song of the Falcon going on, I started to notice that like I'm gonna black out.
Yeah.
And so like they know that they're supposed to leave me in the city because I'm supposed to stay at my friend's house. Yeah. Right? Like we had already worked out, like they're like, yeah, after the show we'll just go, you can go up to your buddy's place.
Yeah,
like, okay.
They're like, oh, cool, we'll just get this kid real drunk and then we'll leave him to a stranger that we don't know if they actually exist or not.
To be honest, it is the caliber of person that I really would have hung out with at the time.
Oh,
so that's exactly how that goes. Okay, so I'm like, okay, before I black out, I need to get out of here so that I can start walking to my friend's place. Now, what I didn't realize is that my friend's house is on North Michigan Avenue. If you know where Reggie's Rock Club is,
like basically Chinatown, like
that's not North Michigan Avenue.
No. And what you're going to walk through Magnificent Mile and shit, just all, and by the time you get there, definitely will be in blackout by that point.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if you're already feeling it coming on.
So I start walking north. I have no idea the trek that is ahead of me. I'm completely oblivious. I'm like, no, I'm just going to make this walk. I get about 3 blocks away, and I start to realize there's a guy following me. It's a homeless dude. A homeless guy is following me. And I'm like, ah, shit. So I like light up a cigarette and keep walking. And he walks up and goes, hey, man, you got a cigarette? And I'm like, yeah, I got a cigarette. I give him a cigarette. And he goes, hey, man, do you smoke weed? And I'm like, fuck yeah, I smoke weed. Like, you know?
Yeah.
I'm 19 and drunk. Of course I smoke weed. Let's do this. He's like, all right, come on.
Yeah.
So he pulls out a joint, like a fat fucking joint. And I'm like, holy shit. I thought I was going to get stabbed.
Right.
But, you know, so we smoked this joint behind, like, that's probably in a fucking alley. I have no idea. And so he's like, hey, man, can I get another cigarette as I keep walking? Because I'm trying to explain to this guy where I'm going.
Yeah.
And he's trying to explain to me that I'm not going to get there.
Yeah, that's
right?
forever away. Yeah.
He's like, it's so far. And I was drunk and just couldn't comprehend
He's
that.
like, hey, man, I'm homeless and I live in Chicago, and I'm saying that's too far to walk to. Maybe take my word for it.
Right. So then he's like, hey, can I get another cigarette? And I'm like, yeah, sure, man. You know, here's another cigarette.
He's like, if I follow this guy all the way to North Michigan Avenue, I might get a full pack of cigarettes out of him.
He could have. He could have and would have had not he done what he did next, which was ask me, hey, man, do you do coke? right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, when I answered yes the last time, he produced.
Right.
So,
well, I'm 19, drunk, and now high off that fat doobie. Of course
right.
I
So
do.
I'm like, yes. And apparently I have a long walk.
Right.
So I'm like,
I need my energy.
so I'm like, yeah, I totally do cocaine. And he's like, cool, come here. So we go to this park, like a kid's jungle gym park. And we're sitting on like a two little stool bench sort of deals. And he pulls out a straight glass pipe. Now,
Oh no.
to me, right, I usually, I'm still a fan of this, capping a cigarette, right? Like, I'll smoke a cigarette with coke on the end,
Okay.
like, while I'm doing cocaine.
Right,
So,
right.
so when he hands me this glass pipe, my first thought is, he put cocaine in this weed pipe, and we're going to smoke cocaine out of this weed pipe. And then I hit it. And that was not what we were fucking doing, dude. Like, I was definitely smoking crack with a homeless man.
Oh my god.
And how giving is this homeless guy that he's like, hey, random 19-year-old white boy, you want to smoke my fat joint and then my crack?
He was trying to get me to go and buy more crack with him.
Yeah.
But I could not explain to him enough that, like, I have $5 for the train home.
Right.
And that's it. I've gotten this fucked up by virtue of just being, you know?
Yeah. He's like, hey, dude, this is exactly how I became homeless, too. I got caught up in this fucking crack loaning process.
You know what? I missed the boat. That was my tutorial. I was
that was
supposed
your
to be that
into
guy.
the community, dude.
Damn. Well, now this is a tragedy. Anyway, so I hit this crack pipe, and I'm immediately like, oh fuck, and I just start like getting the fuck away from this guy. I'm like, I just need to walk as fast as possible away from this dude.
Yeah.
So I finally, at this point, I walked for a while, and then I'm in. I can't even remember how far it was exactly, but it was nicer part of town.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's a bar. It was like right before the train station. And there's this lady standing outside smoking a cigarette. I stumbled past the bar that she was like smoking a cigarette outside of.
Yeah.
And she goes, hey, where's the party at? And I answer, right here, every day. Right?
Of course. Yeah.
And she's like, can I get you a beer? And I'm like, yes, like, absolutely. Because at this point, like, I'm literally...
I need something to take the edge off. I'm all crack high.
Well, even with how fucked up I am, I'm like, I have not said yes to something tonight, and it not just happened. So there's no reason to believe that I would just...
The universe is trying to get you blitzed, baby. You got to roll with
Right.
it. Yeah.
So I get into the bar, I have a beer with this lady, but like she's sloppy drunk, and I'm like, okay, I'm sloppy drunk. This is not gonna happen. So I just leave. I'm like beeline out of there because like my friend is now calling me, and he's like, hey, where are you? And so I finally call him back once I'm outside of the bar. Now when I call him back, he's like, hey, I met up with this girl that I know, and she's coming over tonight, so you can't stay here now. And I'm like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
But at least I was by the train station, right? So I was like, Millennium Station's right there. I've been walking for a while. This is fine. At least I don't have to walk anymore.
Right, right.
So I go to the bar in Millennium Station. I'm taking a piss in the bar. Or no, there's the public bathrooms right outside the bar in Millennium Station. And a dude kicks open the door, and he's got a big-ass mohawk, and he sees me, and he goes, dude, you were at the Falcon show. And I was like, I was. And he goes, can I get you a beer? And I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah, right.
Like, it's unnatural.
Like,
Like,
I mean, I guess, yeah, you can give me a beer, but do you smoke crack? Because now I got a taste for that all of a sudden, dude. My life is different now. You don't know what happened in the last hour and a half of my existence.
Yeah, I hope you don't like find yourself in a loop.
Right.
So,
Wow.
so I go and I have a beer with this guy, and I black out. in the bar in Millennium Station.
The prophecy has been fulfilled.
Just completely, I'm gone.
Yeah.
And I wake up the next morning naked in a friend of mine's living room, which it made sense because that friend lived pretty close to the train station. So I imagine that like I got a hold of her on my way back or something. But like I also had like $30 in my pocket, which I didn't have when I left the city. So like,
and I was naked, so you can imagine what I'm referring to as my pocket.
Well, apparently, the funny thing about that is, and so for years I told that story. I would be like, "Oh, I was naked when I woke up," and like I assumed that like I had fooled around with my friend, right? Like, because like when I woke up, I just left. I didn't really talk to her. I just left, and she was like, "No, we never messed around. You were in my bed, but you sweat through all of your clothes in the like while you were sleeping." And so, like, I had to undress you and then drag you into my living room so that you didn't sweat everywhere anymore. And I was like, oh, well, that makes a lot more sense than what I thought happened.
Right, yeah. I woke up all naked and sweaty. I must have got lucky. She's like, no, you were a swamp thing in my bed, and you gotta fuck off.
Yeah. It also explained why she didn't talk to me ever again after that.
Right. Oh, so you just show up to a girl's apartment one night, all cracked up and drunk, and you get sweaty in her bed, and next thing you know. I see who my real friends are, I guess.
Yeah. And that is a story, like I said, that I quit telling for a very long time.
But where do you think this $30 came from? Because that's what I want to know. Like, did you rob that homeless guy?
See, I don't think so.
The lady at the bar, when she was like, where's the party at?
See, that's
and
what I
you said all day, every day right here. She was like, okay, here's some money. Go get that crackhead that you've been talking about to get some drugs for us. And you never came back. That's my theory. Because as soon as you said the lady outside of the bar was like, where's the party at? That means they're looking for cocaine. So I would imagine she saw that you were just like gritting your teeth and like, She was like, well, let me buy you a drink. You know what I mean?
She was looking for cocaine. No, I had a button-down shirt on that was unbuttoned, and I had a white beater on underneath it. She absolutely thought I had cocaine.
As soon as I just said that, Mr. Dover
that's why she ignored me once we got into the bar.
Head and then did the mind blown.
That's why she blew me off once we got in the bar. That makes so much more sense.
Yeah, we're figuring things out.
You know, this is, and me and Brandon, we talk about this a lot. We're what we like to call party professionals, and you know, I'm sure you are at this point in life too. But like that you have like those thoughts that like you hear a story and you're like, oh, I know exactly what happened there. You know, other people are like, man, I don't even remember what happened last night, but then like this, and it's like, oh, I know, I've been there so many times. This is what happened. As soon as you said, she was like, where's the party at? And then you gave the answer you did, which is great. But like most women, if a 19-year-old high on crack would have said that, they'd have been like, yeah, I'm sure. But she was like, can I buy you a drink? She was definitely like, I'm looking for what you are on.
Right, and then probably realized that was not going to happen very quickly.
You're like, how come you gave me $30 change from that drink you bought me? And she's like, so, you know why. And you're like, so I can go outside and call my friend?
I remember like having conversations with people, but I don't, obviously it was so long ago and I was like so kind of inebriated at the time. It's just like impossible for me to recall.
Yeah.
But I do remember constantly bringing up the fact that I only had $5 because everybody kept like buying me beers and things. Yeah, and I kept having to remind them like, I can't buy you one back or anything. Right?
Hey, you know this is charity, right? You don't expect anything in return.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. Wow. Mr. Dover, Benjamin, I really appreciate you coming on and telling your story to us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I just want to let you know that we believe you.
Oh yeah,
Thank you.
And that's the other part of being a party professional is we definitely have been in situations and had stories where people are like, yeah, but how much of that happened? I'm like, unfortunately, all of it. This is the kind of life I live.
So I don't want to give away my identity too hard, but like I used to tell that story publicly,
Yeah.
let's say. And for the most part, I was comfortable with it because of how unbelievable it was, right? Like I was like, "There's no way," like.
If need be, I could pretend like, oh, clearly that was fake.
Exactly. Possible deniability.
It isn't right. Yeah. All right, sir. Well, thank you, and maybe we'll, if you got another one, we'll have you back on in the future.
Oh yeah, I would love to.
All right.
Oh, actually, I can tell you about the crazy scar I have.
That sounds great.
All right,
All right, man. Take it easy. All righty. Well, our starving artist of the week, Mr. Chris Sons, is in the studio with us.
Hey.
You are our first musical guest that our producer Sean has picked, and so
wow,
that should be a compliment to you. But also, I'm intrigued that
I feel honored.
Like I'm actually interviewing
As
you.
always, I always feel honored whenever I'm on like a podcast. Like this is like number 3 now. I feel like this is the 3rd time.
Hell yeah!
So it's like the first time I was like, oh man, everybody, you guys got to know, like I'm going to be on a podcast.
Right.
Like, now I feel like a veteran.
Yeah, right. Now they get to have me on their podcast.
Yeah, give me. I want to answer questions. No, I'm just kidding. I want to like converse. I like to converse with people. Like anybody, just like whoever. I'll talk to old ass people. Like see what's happening in old people's lives. I'll talk to little kids who are like, hey man, what the heck, man? Why are you so weird? I'm a weirdo. I act like kind of weird to like everybody. So like. It's like nice to inspire people in a weird way, So
yeah,
cool.
and to show little kids like, oh, you looked at me and you're like, that's an adult. Guess what, asshole? I'm on the same tip as you.
Yes. I'm still like a kid for sure. Like like at heart. Like when I think about it, I'm like, oh fuck, man. I'm like nearing 30 soon. Like in a couple of years, we'll say I'm gonna be 28 soon, but like that's close to 30.
Yeah.
So like, but I still feel like in high school age. But
yeah, I'm 32 and I'm waiting to like my inner me. When I like it's still kid me. I'm like, am I gonna be like 65 and inside my head I'm like some punk ass boy.
It's like little kid mindset, like, or just being like some. It's like that movie Bad Grandpa with like Johnny Knoxville, where he's like an old asshole, but he's like still like joking around. Like I feel like that would be
right.
Once I'm an old man, I feel like I'm still gonna be still like jittery little shit fuck. Like
I
am I allowed to curse? Is that
hope,
all right?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I curse a lot.
I sincerely hope when I'm an old man, I feel like I'm just Johnny Knoxville with a layer of latex on top of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the inside, I'm ready to get hit in the nuts with a sledgehammer
Layers.
or whatever is needed. So we were just talking about the just even gigs, everything like bar related, the changing of the seasons. Fucks with it so much in either way. When it starts snowing for the first time, then people are like, I don't want to go driving that, and I just want to be home and be cozy. And then they get tired of that shit, and they need to be around people.
Right. Like my family doesn't want me to go out in this weather.
Right.
All right. Well, dang. I should probably stay in.
A couple blizzards later, you're like, I need to get the fuck out of here.
Right. Totally.
Yeah.
And then conversely, when it becomes summer, everybody's like, oh, all of a sudden I can be at home without being in my home. I can sit in my yard, I can sit on my porch and drink or something. So like,
it's like more
you get
area.
that lull then, and then there comes a point where they're like, well, that bar is going to have air conditioning, so fuck,
Some cold beers,
Right.
maybe some food that like I don't have to cook, like I can go out.
I might meet someone.
Yeah.
Like that's the bottom of the list. First you're like air conditioning, cold beers, music. And they're like, oh, maybe I'll form a relationship.
Like a friendship. Yeah, long-term
Wouldn't that be
friendship.
so weird?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be so weird if I like had somebody to like talk to that wasn't inside of my house right now?
Yeah, it's like, I feel like, when I was like growing up, like you had to go out and like meet, people and go and like do things, but like now you could like see people on your phone, like it's
hey,
like,
that's that person I saw one time in the grocery store.
Yeah. Here, let's
We're
go.
online friends, and you always just hate them afterward. You're like, oh wow, you're like little racist. Or something.
Yeah,
like
they got something weird about them. That's like,
right.
I'll still say what's up, but like, I don't want you in my life.
I'm not trying to let anybody see me with you.
Yeah.
Our social media.
Let's go a couple towns away or something.
Totally. I'll meet you in neutral territory, and we'll see what's up.
Yeah, and then we'll see how it goes from there. If it's still weird, I gotta go to the bathroom. It's gonna take me a couple minutes, and you won't see me again. But
right. I swear to God, I haven't gone home. You just hear tires screeching
in the bathroom.
So, how often do you like frequent open mics and stuff like that?
For a while. I mean, shit, man. Like, since winter, there was a lot. I was doing them at Goodfellas on 41 in Cedar Lake for a while, and randomly they just ended. So I like.
That's kind of how things associated with the arts go in the region.
I was like ready to go, and it was like gone.
Someone starts doing it, and everyone's like, "Wait, really?
Yeah.
You're gonna support the arts?" And then they will like out of nowhere stop doing it, and you're like, "Wait, really?" Like you just did it long enough that I was like, "They're not gonna." And
then people are finally like catching on about things like that, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I didn't know that was a thing." And then you like go back there, and you're like, "Oh man, I'm here for the open mic." They're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like what open mic?
We fired Mike.
Yeah.
Like, no. The open mic night. They're like, yeah, we fired that too. I don't know, man.
That never happened. That was never a thing here.
Yeah.
You're at the wrong place, guy.
We only serve food.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't do music here. This is a different place. You've never been here before.
We got touch tunes.
Yeah.
But it's turned off because we don't like playing music of any sort.
We're not paying the bill for that.
Yeah. Tell ASCAP we said fuck you.
We turn on the radio and it's only Walmart country here.
Commercials and all, baby.
Shit.
So, do you write?
Oh yeah. I mean, I've been writing like. I used to, in high school, write rhymes, to like beats that I would steal off of YouTube, that's where I started writing, I'd say, and I was like, after high school, I was like, well, fuck, I want to play an instrument, so I picked up the guitar, and I was like, I learned like Redemption Song or some shit, and like, and then I started writing songs from there, and then I've learned a few songs, like, I've learned a decent like couple covers, but like I never really play them. So like I like play all my own shit, so I forgot all that other shit. It's like
nice.
Honestly,
once you forget it, like once you play it and like you can start playing it again, and be like, oh okay, here it is. Like I can remember, but
right, I can play it again, but once I have, it's like
it's like let me learn something new.
Playing a video game again or something. Oh dude, I reached the twist ending already. Yeah. Why am I going to do this?
And like that's like I'm kind of stuck in my writing, like a little stagnant, because like it's like I've been playing the same shit for so long, and then like now I'm like seeing all these other artists like doing all this like crazy like improv. Like I went to like the jam night recently, maybe probably a few months ago, 2 months ago, I'd say maybe, and like I was like, oh man, I'll go and play, and like I was like, oh man, these guys are throwing out keys and shit, and I'm like, I don't even know what fucking key anything is in, I was like, oh man, intimidated,
but no one's like vibing anyway. Like 100%, if you were like in this area or like this is the song and like even you don't say anything, you just show us what you're playing, I'll be like, hey guys, it's this key, and then we will like back you up.
Fucking
like
boom,
that's what we do. It's not about any skill level is welcome, any style is welcome.
Right? Like it goes both ways. Like in one point, you might. they'll be able to, instead of them calling out what key.
Yeah, it's like I call the shots and they'll be like, okay.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah. And because a show with the band, it is my job to make sure this goes the way I want it to go.
Yeah.
And you guys know it should go. But like when it's a jam night, it wouldn't make sense if we were like, well, we're all fucking ripping and noodling like crazy, and this like person we invited up here is like actually playing the song we're supposed to be playing, and we're making them look like an asshole. Like at that point, our job is to make this, present this in the best way possible.
Yeah, definitely.
Like that's and we've had a lot like we've had as a guest before, like Mr. James Guetta, like. When he first started coming around our jam night, he was not really comfortable playing with a full band. Like he was like, it was just me, and it was kind of like the same thing. I think that he was like, well, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do with these guys, and we're like, no, you do what you do, and we're here to elevate that, or like support that, and
that's awesome.
And then now. He plays with all sorts of different bands with different lineups, and he's like, I don't know, it'll be like this, and they'll
just pick up on it.
Right?
Yeah, that's cool.
So it's kind of been one of those things that's a big reason why we do it, is to build that confidence in other people.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Trust your community, and and also garner a community that's like that, because there are people that aren't like that. There are people that are going to be like, well, I'm fucking kicking ass and you look like an asshole. No, it's about the band. Even in
the collective. Yeah.
Like in our band, if one guy was just like, everybody else is fucking up, not me, you better fuck up in the same way we all are fucking up right now. So it sounds like it was meant to be a fuck up,
Hell yeah. Like that's like me and my old roommate, like he used to be like a lead guitar, and like I'd write like all my songs, and like I'm like a rhythm, and la da 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 da, and he'll come in and shred, and it's just like, oh man, and like it was like me and just one other person, but like I would totally, I came and watched the jam night, and I was like, damn, like here's my one acoustic guitar that I fucking can't even plug into anything, and like I'm just like, oh shit, dude, I'm definitely intimidated, and I was just like I was listening to it, getting a little buzzed, but it was a fun night, but I was definitely intimidated the first time I went there, so maybe the next time I go up there, it'll be like that's tomorrow, right? You guys do that still?
Yeah,
jam nights?
Wednesday nights, Beer Geeks.
Right on.
I mean, also, we try to, like, a way to curb that is, like, how stupid we are. Like, kind of the band mythos is, like, do something really stupid in the most intelligent way possible.
Yeah.
So, like, we'll, like, write a song with, like, these silly, goofy lyrics or something, and then, like, the music behind it is just like really intelligent or something, or like we're playing a show where for all intents and purposes we should be acting like I'm fucking cool as shit right now.
Yeah.
We rip this song and it like sounds great, and then right afterwards one of us is like, I just farted into the microphone, so it's like there's no judgment or ego happening here. Like I'm going to tell you a story about how I ripped my pants.
Super professional, and then you come in with something super goofy, and
that it's
nice to be comical.
Is amped up at the jam nights, especially. It's like anybody say whatever, because I don't, I understand, because not even us or what we do is great. Just that you're watching a practiced band.
Yeah.
And then they're like, who else wants to come up here and try it out? Of course, that's going to be like, oh, well.
Yeah, it's like, whoa.
I've never even, we don't know each other's names. And like, I'm going to be expected to do, it's like, no.
Yeah, it's like,
now we're working for you.
It's like a different way of an open mic, it's not quite the same, like what what you would think of if you're going to like some stupid like cafe fucking open mic. It's not like, hey, welcome, let's fucking do a little poetry clap and fucking, it's not.
Well, and when you're by yourself, it's at an open mic or something, you can fuck up and like cover it up really easily or something, you know, and like so there's that like safety net in a way of
where you're by yourself.
For some reason, when I play this song, every time I just cut off a half a bar on this part, and like it makes sense to me, and it sounds normal when I am flowing with myself. But when a band tries to do it, everyone else is like,
"What the fuck?
Where did those two beats go?" You know, like. But so, I mean, our buddy Scott, he was like that. That he's like, I don't know, man. I just play this song this way, and I always have forever. And when it was just him, it's fucking amazing, you know? Yeah. So I don't know.
Going into like a full band, it gets a little wonky, or like how does it just like? Everybody's like thinking
it's
something.
Intimidating. Oh, yeah. That's exactly what it is, you know? But then once you get used to the safety net of like, oh, these are like good people and we're all working towards the same thing. Like none of us want to be embarrassed and we all like have to work together for that to be possible. Then it's more comforting. Like now when I host open mic and I play my set by myself at the beginning, that's like the only time I get nervous on stage anymore. Like, oh my God, there's strength in numbers.
You're the only one who,
you know? I'm like, it's just
up.
me. Yeah. If I fucking break a string or something, like, okay, well, everything's over now, and everybody just like
Peace
fucking,
out,
everybody just look at me while I like shaky hands try and change my string, you know,
like BB King, like changing a string while he like fucking just still jamming out. I wish I could just like shred, you know, like I just want to. Oh well, I fucking broke a string. Let me just fix it while I'm still boopity boop. You know, like
but then also
around, you know?
He has the guy that comes up and hands him the string. You know, his band's still playing. You know, it's if everybody would have went, fucking BB broke his string, and the band just stopped. Like, what the fuck am I gonna play for? It wouldn't have looked so cool. But instead, the band was like, "We got your back," and that guy was like, "I got your back with the string." And it's
actually a perfect example.
That's what jam night is, baby. You're like, "Fuck, I just broke a string," and everybody's like, "We'll all cover it."
Yeah, we'll all break
and somebody comes out from the crowd and hands you, string.
Here's your high E, brother.
Yeah, I was sent here with a note from 10 years ago that said on this very night, someone was going to need this string.
This was meant to happen.
All right. Well, so you want to play a couple songs for us?
Sure. Yeah. Shit. I mean, yeah. What do you want me to just like? Can I just play it out loud or what?
Yeah. Give us 1 second. We'll get you set up and we'll get to that. So we got Chris Sons. He's going to play a couple tunes for us. And that'll be it for this episode of Some People Like Us. And I would just like to say thank you to Fishhook Studios. Thank you to Sean. Thank you to Brandon. And thank you to our guest, Chris.
Yeah.
And Ben.
Thanks.
Some people like us. Most people don't.
Yeah, this song's like about a girl who broke my heart. I like met her at a bar one time and I was like, huh, yeah, you're the one. But that didn't end up being the case, so I wrote a song about it. And this is Chocolate Diamond. I don't even know you, but I wanna get to know you somehow today. I still don't know you, so won't you come on over and bring your banjo and play? I'm not trying to show you. I also want to learn to play something new with you, 'cause tomorrow's a new day. But I'm down to go through whatever steps it takes to get to know you anyway. I'm looking forward to tomorrow where nothing is the same as yesterday. No regrets, no sorrows, just make memories that are never meant to fade away.
I can promise that I'll try, and I'll never give up trying to get you what you want. You hope that I'm not lying. I know that I know that I will buy you a chocolate diamond. Oh, ooh, oh, ooh, a chocolate diamond. Oh, ooh, oh, a chocolate diamond. Oh, ooh, oh, a chocolate diamond. Oh, oh,
Hey, thank you. Chocolate Diamond. That's the first song, like, I definitely was like, I was like, oh yeah, that was like, I started getting on a roll after that. So, you know, I was like, oh yeah, it's time, you know. But yeah, that was like the first song that I wrote, like, really getting into it. But then, like, I started getting into it more, and then this, I'll play the second song here is like my best song in my opinion that I've you know written, and it's like it's on like Spotify. It's like, but like my friend produced it, so it's under his thing, you know. So, but it's still on Spotify, you know what I'm saying? So like that's cool, you know. I can like send it to people, you know. Hey, here it is, you know. But this next one, I don't even remember what the hell it's about, but I mean you can relate to it, I think, in a way. It's called DNA, so it goes like.
I've seen better days and I've lived hectic nights. Don't know where I'm going. I'm never knowing I had a plan today. I thought I planned it right, but my plans went wrong. Just to go get high for the night. The high was never worth it, but I was never perfect. So all the time I hurt and cursed the people who nursed it. Now my eyes are on the prize. My only problem is I can't pick a disguise, can't keep promising. I can't live off of lies, they are bottomless, and you'll keep plummeting and searching for what you'll never get. Can't miss out on too many days, enslaved to never fade away. I'll give my all, the rise and the fall. I'm enslaved to never fade away. It's engraved in my DNA. So I try and I try, and time after time I get let down. And I cry to deny myself, and lie to reply keeps me left out. No one pushes me away, I distance myself on my own, and I'm not proud. Life keeps changing, I'm dealing with the changes. My feelings keep contained, but I'm feeling like I'm tainted. I know I'm strange, I have no shame, having abilities to be the free man and my soul invaded. I'm glad I've been created. I'm glad I got that stated. There is no debating. Moving forward and migrating is the only answer to what has stopped you. It kept you staying. Now the only thing to do is follow through. Can't miss out on too many days. I wish to never ever fade. I'm giving my all, my heart and my soul. I'm enslaved to never fade away. It's engraved in my DNA. 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 It's engraved in my DNA.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. Thanks for having me.